Hello. Today we're going to talk about nomenclature of compounds. So nomenclature of compounds uh, have two contents. The first one is binary ionic compounds, and the second one is ternary ionic compounds. Binary ionic compounds has one rule. The rule is name of the first element plus root word of the second element plus IDE. For example, NaBr. Um, NaBr is sodium bromide. Sodium bromide. Bromide is from Br. The root word of Br is bromine. We replace INE by IDE, so we get bromide. And the second is KF. K is potassium, F is fluorine. The root word of F is fluorine, so we replace INE of fluorine by IDE, and then we got fluoride, potassium fluoride. The third one is KCl. K is potassium, Cl is chlorine. We replace INE of chlorine, then we replace it by IDE, so we get potassium chloride. Okay, so these are the net charges of each group from 1A to 7A. So 1A has positive 1 net charge. 2A group has plus 2 net charge. 3A positive 3 net charge. 4A has negative 4 net charge. 5A has negative 3 net charge. 6A negative 2, and 7A has negative 1 net charge. Here are more examples of binary ionic compounds, and we're going to discuss it together. Okay, so the first one is lithium oxide, and we convert lithium oxide into symbol. So the first thing to do is to know each symbol and the net charge of each element. So we know that lithium is Li and oxide is oxygen, so O. Lithium has plus 1 net charge and oxygen has negative 2. So we can use the crisscross method by multiply to lithium and here multiply it to oxygen. So we get Li2O. Okay, let me erase this. So next question is magnesium phosphide. Magnesium phosphide. Yeah, magnesium is Mg. Phosphide from the word phosphorus is P. Symbol is P. So second thing to do is to determine the net charge. Magnesium is plus 2. Phosphorus is negative 3. Use the crisscross method again. We get Mg3 and phosphide 2. Mg3 phosphide 2. Okay, next one is sodium chloride. Sodium is Na and Cl is chlorine. Sodium has plus 1 net charge and chlorine has negative 1. Crisscross method like the previous one, the same. we get Na1Cl1. We don't need to write the 1 here because it is unnecessary. Okay, next one, calcium oxide. It's the same as this. This has positive 1 net charge and this has negative 1. Use the crisscross method again. We got CaO, Ca1O1. Don't need to write the 1. Okay, let me erase this part. Okay. Okay, next is aluminum bromide. Aluminum has +3, bromide has -1. Aluminum is Al, bromide from the word bromine is Br, so we use the crisscross method. Then we got AlBr3. Okay, next, calcium phosphide. Calcium is Ca, phosphide from the word phosphorus is P. Then calcium has +2 net charge and phosphide has -3 net charge. Like I was saying that to get these net charges here and here, we need to locate each element in the periodic table and determine where in the group that the element located. Then we can use this guide right here to determine the net charge. Okay, last question. Let me erase this. Okay, last question. We got iron 2 chloride. Iron 2, this means that the iron or Fe has +2. From the parenthesis, this is Roman numeral 2, and chlorine has -1. So we use the crisscross method as always. We got Fe1, don't need to write the 1, and Cl2. Okay, the next is we're going to talk about ternary ionic compounds. In ternary ionic compounds, there are 4 guidelines. The first is if in their original number of oxygen atoms, the rule is root word of the first element plus ATE. Second is if with less 1 oxygen atom, the rule is root word of first element plus ITE. Third one is if with less 2 oxygen atoms, the rule is hypo plus root word of the first element plus ITE. The last guideline is if with 1 more oxygen atom, the rule is per plus root word of the first element plus ATE. Okay, in ternary ionic compounds, there are cations and anions. For the cations, there are 2 that we use. First, NH4+. NH4+ is ammonium and NH3 is ammonia. This should be plus right here. This in here is plus. Okay, for the anions, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There are 9 anions, so okay. First, you got ClO3 or chromate, BrO3 or chromate, IO3 iodate, NO3 nitrate, MnO3 is manganate, CO3 -2 is carbonate, SO4 -2 is sulfate, O4 -2 is chromate, PO4 -3 is phosphate. Okay, so we got 6 examples of ternary ionic compounds that we are going to talk about. Okay, first is NaIO2. Okay, the first thing to do is to copy the first element. Na is sodium, and IO2 is from IO3 right here. This is the original anion, and in here it has one less oxygen atom. Then we can use the guideline. If with less one oxygen atom, the rule is root word of first element plus ITE. So the root word of IO2 is from iodate. We replace ATE by ITE, so we get sodium iodide. Second is CaMnO4 2. Okay, Ca is calcium and MnO4 is from the root word is manganate. Okay, first thing to copy the first element, which is Ca, is calcium, and in here this is MnO4, and we can take a look at the original oxygen atom, MnO3. It has 3 oxygen atoms, where in this compound this has 4 oxygen atoms. So we can use the guideline. If with one more oxygen atom, can use the rule per plus root word of the first element plus ATE. So calcium MnO4 is from the root word manganate plus the prefix per, then manganate, so permanganate, calcium permanganate. Okay, the third question, Al2 SO2 3. Okay, the same thing as the last 2 questions. We copy, we write the first element, the name of the first element, which is aluminium, then SO2. SO2, the original oxygen atom has 4 oxygen atoms. In here it has 2 oxygen atoms, which means that it has 2 less oxygen atoms than the original one. So aluminium, we can use the guideline. If with less 2 oxygen atoms, we can use the rule hypo plus root word of the first element plus ITE. So the root word of the CSO2 is sulfate, so we replace ATE by ITE, then we use the prefix hypo, so we get aluminium hyposulfite. Okay, the fourth question is MgBrO3 2. So Mg is magnesium, BrO3 is bromate from the word bromine, so magnesium, then BrO3 is, yeah, it's the same as this, so this equivalent like the original one. So magnesium, we use the guideline here, root word of the first element plus ATE. So bromine, we replace INE by ATE, so magnesium bromate. Okay, the fifth question is kind of different from the 4 questions that we have just discussed. This is the reverse one, so this is name to symbol. Okay, so aluminium percarbonate. So the first thing to do is to determine what is the symbol. Aluminium is Al, percarbonate from the word carbonate. It is and carbonate and per, so it has one more oxygen atom than the original one. So it is the original one is CO3, so one more plus one, so it is CO4. Then the next thing to do is to determine each net charges of each element and compound. Al has +3, CO4 or CO3 has -2. Then we can use the crisscross method. Then this is equal to this Al2 CO4 3. Okay. Let me erase this. Okay. Okay, the last question is ammonium chromate. The first thing to do is to determine the symbol of each element or compound. Ammonium is NH4, and chromate, from the word chromate, it is CrO4, right? But here it is chromate ITE, so it has, which means it has one less oxygen atom, so CrO3, right? CrO3. Then we can determine each net charges of each compound. So NH4 has +1, CrO3 has -2. We can use the crisscross method as always. So this is equal to NH4, we use parentheses, and we put 2 here, and this 1 multiplied by this to the CrO3. So we don't need to write the 1, so we don't need to write the parentheses as well. So CrO3, here is the answer, NH4 to CrO3. So okay, that's it for today. I hope that you gain knowledge from my explanation. Thank you, goodbye, and good morning.